Hello, my name is Alvin Moore, Master Numerologist, and today I will continue on my series of transitional numbers, sometimes referred to as exit numbers. An exit number is the day, the month, and the age and the year that a soul departs the body. Today I would like to talk about Miss Amy Jade Winehouse. Miss Amy Jade Winehouse made her transition on July the 23rd, 2011. A gifted singer and a highly evolved soul. Her first sub-element, the number 7, connected her straight to the source, straight to her creator, straight to heaven, straight to her maker. She had a hotline to heaven. Now, some souls that die young has a particular mission that they're on, and they don't waste a lot of time with frivolous things because they know their time is short. They come in knowing that they only sign up for a short period. It's like their soul memory. They remember their objective, and they remember how much time they gave themselves to achieve that objective. And so they come in right away doing what they have to do. Now her second subcore, which is the number 5, which consists of the two sub-elements of the 2 and the 3. Now, this number reflected an individual who was trying to find a way to her spiritual self, trying to find her self-esteem. More than likely, instead of finding her own self-esteem, she might have a tendency to lean too far to rely on others or other things. And unfortunately, those things for Amy was drugs and alcohol. Now, the number 3 was exerted a very strong influence on Amy to use her voice not only for singing but also for speaking out against injustice. So her first two sub-elements, the 2 and the 3, the 2 energy representing an individual that's trying to find their independence, trying to straighten up that back, trying to stand on their own 2 feet, because the 2 energy have an energy to curve over. And so it tries to find its way by becoming very strong. And 3 energy rules the voice. It rules self-expression, creative and artistic expression. So those are 2 sub-elements. But together it created a 5 energy. Now, the 5 energy is the number of speed. It likes to hurry along. And Amy was rushing through her life knowing that she didn't have much time. The 5 energy, when not enough of the 1 vibration is present, has a strong impulse to experience outside influences. The 5 energy is a very outside vibrational energy because it deals with your 5 physical senses. And your 5 physical senses identify with what it see, what it tastes, what it hear, what it feels, what it touch. And it determines that that is reality. It becomes real. And the 5 energy have a tendency to participate in that area. And without the strong influences of a 1 or a 4 or an 8, the 5 energy can literally get lost in the physical world. And you'll find a lot of 5 energies becoming attracted to overindulgence in alcohol, food, and drugs, and sexual energies. That's why that 1 and that 4 and that 8 is so crucial to be in relationship to a number 5. So anyhow, the strong 5 energy has a very strong impulse to experience um, with outside influences, such as drugs, food, and sex. And without the strong discipline influence of the 1s and the 4s and the 8s, the 5 can overindulge. Now, her third sub core consists of 3 sub-elements. In numerology, we don't deal with the digit of 0. So the year of her departure has uh, 3 sub-elements. The number 2 and the double 1s, because she left in 2011. Okay, now these double 1s, the 1 energy is a very powerful, very strong, a number that's very quite sure of itself. And so it was trying to exert its authority, its power. But the problem was that there was 2 of them, and they stood together. And by them standing together, they merged and they collapsed upon themselves, creating the vibration of number 2, which weakens the 1's power or weakens the 1's self-esteem. So the double 1s are powerful influences. If there is a digit that separates them, for example, if the digits was like, say, 1911, then you have a digit that stands between those 2 1s, which would be the 9, which will influence the 1 energy on the left side of it and influence the 1 energy on the right side of it. If it was like 191 pattern, as opposed to 1-1 pattern, she had the 1-1 pattern, which collapsed into the 2 vibrational energy, which weakens the 1 energy. So if there's a digit that can separate them, if not, then they can have a very powerful influence on the emotional aspect of the personality, because the 11 energy is a highly evolved vibrational frequency. It's the frequency of strong intuition, sensitivity, and if you're not really grounded with a 4 energy, it can really wreak havoc upon your emotions. And when you reduce the 2 down, when you reduce the 11 down to a lower vibration, to the number 2, you still have this very strong lack of self-esteem about yourself. You're struggling to find out who you are and what is your place in life. And this is what was going on with this particular combination of numbers. So, so you have a very powerful influence on the emotional aspect of the personality, as well as a surrendering aspect. And when you combine and merge into the number 2 of submission, the first sub-element of the number 2, when combined with the double 1s, creates a soft platform for the number 4, because 2 plus 2 is 4, and 4 once again is a very hard energy, is a very stabilizing energy, is an energy that's that you can rely on and dependable. But because you have those tools, the first 2 that come from the first sub-element from 2011, and then the 2 that's created from the 2 1s coming together, the foundation is very soft. It's not that strong to do what it was meant to do, because it's being weakened by the influence of those double 2s. So the 4 energy is there to hold an individual up, to give them their sure footing, so that they won't slip and fall. The third core energy of number 4 was made weakened by the strong vibrations of the number 2 found in the first sub-element from her day of departure, which was the 23rd, and the first sub-element from her year of departure, which is the number 2, and the double 1s, when merged, makes the number 2. Now, when all 3 groups of her sub-elements are combined, that would be July, which is the number 7, which was the month of the departure, combined with the number 23, which is the day of her departure, and the year 2011 of her departure, you derive at the compound number of 2041. Okay, the first sub-element is the number 2, which indicating that an individual is trying to trying to find their backbone. The third sub-element of 4 brings strength, but is weakened somewhat by the number 6, which sits between the first sub-elements of 2 and the third sub-element of 4, because 4 plus 2 is 6. The fourth sub-element of 1 is strong, but having difficulty standing because of the number 5, which sits between the third sub-element of 4 and the fourth sub-element of the 1. The 4 plus 1 equals 5, and the 5 sits in opposition to the numbers 4 and 6. Now, when you combine the 4 sub-elements, which would be 12 plus 0 equals 2, 2 plus 4 equals 6, and 6 plus 1 equals 7, we arrive at the spiritual mission of the core number 7. The core 7, when combined with the first core number 7, we arrive at the number 5. So the 7 energy is a very focused energy when it comes to one's spiritual mission. But because the first core energy is a 7 of July, those two 7s come together to make a 5 energy, which distracts the 7 from its inward journey and thrusts the 7 outward into the world, which is the 5 vibrational energy. And the 5 energy, one of the aspects of the 5 energy is recklessness. Now, the core energy of 7 is an inward vibration, and the key was to keep one's eyes focused within. But the 5 energy takes the eyes off of the spirit and places them on the beauty of physical life. This beauty has a hypnotic aspect that can throw one off their spiritual mission. Now, Amy Jade Winehouse left her body at the tender age of 27 from overdose of alcohol. Her first core age of number 2 find her still trying to find her feet and her confidence. The second subcore age number 7 is the spirit was working through her music, because as of right now I've uncovered 3 of her 7 vibrational energies. The first 7 comes from her first subcore, which is the month of her departure, which was the 7th. And then the second 7 vibrational energy come from when you're adding the second comes from the major core, when you add all 3 of the subcores together. In other words, when you add the 7 from July with the 5 that comes from the 2 and the 3 of the day of departure, and 2011, which is the 4. When you add the 7, 5, and 4 together, you get the 16, and the 1 and the 6 makes the 7. That's the second 7. And then the third one comes from her age that she left at 27. Those 3 7 multiply makes it 3 energy that was influencing her. Those 3 7s was influencing her music and her creativity and her artistry. Okay, now, but when you combine the 2 and the 7, you're going to get the number 9. And the 9 energy brings things to enclosure. Just like a woman pregnancy usually ends in the 9th month. The 9 energy is just an energy of completion. So she had completed her mission. But I sensed that Amy was very close to God because of those multiple 7s. But what I believe what happened was that she got distracted by the allure of the beauty. And because I felt she didn't have enough self-esteem, not enough 1 energies, and a lot of 2's energy, she was too willing to surrender. And she didn't have enough strength, I felt, in her legs to walk away from the strong influences that held her bounded. Now, what I'm going to do in part 2 is I'm going to visually show you her transitional numbers. And I'm going to take a quick look at her birth cycles numbers. Her birth cycles numbers are the numbers that a soul enters into incarnation. The vast difference is that Every soul comes in with a plan, with a mission, with an objective. And what happens is the entry numbers reveals the potentiality of the soul. There is no guarantee that the soul is going to achieve that objective. The exit numbers, on the other hand, reveals what a soul was able to do. So I'll take a look at the potentiality, and I already took a look at exactly what she was capable of doing. So that's going to be in the next video, part 2. See you in part 2.